Greetings, everyone. This is Lance the Lush. Now, I'm going to do some commentary here. Now, this has been in and out of the news, but it popped back up during the week, and that's the proposed InBev Coors merger. Now, everybody's been going nuts about it. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts on this. Now, you might not agree with me, and that's fine. You might agree with me 100%, and that's fine too. But I want you, the beer drinkers, to form your own opinion on this. And I'm very opinionated on this. Now, first things first. If I look at my monitor, when they first proposed this a while back, I thought they were nuts, right? I really did. And I'm looking at my monitor. There's a few things I want to talk about this, but a lot of people are really not talking about. Now, Lush fans, if you actually follow me, you also know my main channel is a politics channel. And I talk about this a little bit, but on this particular channel, but I'm going to talk about a little bit more in depth here. So I'm putting my politics hat on for this commentary. Now, first things first, reading everything I've seen, it's a monster ass deal. It really is. Now, in the defense of Coors, they're trying to get around all this. They're going to unload, they're going to unload some stuff. And there's a reason why I'm talking about this. Now, I'm watching the hearing from C-SPAN. Now, folks, C-SPAN is probably the most boringest thing you can watch anywhere. But I recommend, and I'll provide a link below to it, to that this is something you need to watch. And the reason I'm talking about this is, it's the main thing that I've said from the start. And that is antitrust. Now, for the record, I just did the review on Ice House, and that's what this is right now. So I figured it'd be time to talk about it. Now, as far as the video from C-SPAN, it actually really got in depth on what they want to do and how it's not antitrust. Now, believe what you want. I believe it is. And here's the reason why. When you're controlling that much of the market, you got to say, you know what? No. And it does a lot more things. Now, there's some articles I've read about what InBev is doing right now. Now, as a lot of people know or might not know, they've been buying out distributors left and right. And this comes to the second part of this commentary. I understand they want to buy them out or get control, but this also smacks of antitrust because you're trying to corner the market. And this is one thing out of Prohibition era, they try to avoid. That's why they set it up in the 3 tiers between the brewer, the distributor, and the retailer. Now, there's another thing, there's a little side thing about that part that nobody talks about. The articles I've read, they're talking about they're either buying out the distributors or what they're doing is paying them a ton of money to carry only their products. Now, here's a term that you probably don't hear very often, and that is called green mail. And let me explain what that is. Green mail is when a person or a company decides to buy something. What they do is they put all this money to threaten to take it over if you don't succumb to their demands and pay and take the money from them. This is exactly the same thing minus the goodbye kiss. And I recommend anybody to look up the history of green mail because that's what that is as far as InBev buying all these distributors. Now, there's a third thing about this, and that's the distribution itself. Now, as everybody knows, the craft beer industry exploded here in the last 10 years or so. Now, as far as distributors, with some of these smaller microbreweries or craft brewers, distribution is the only card they can play. And if you start locking them out, there's a lot of people like me and you, the consumer, will never know about it or even have access to it. And that is bad. And that's why I'm totally against this particular thing, part of this InBev Coors merger, or Miller Coors, merger. And there's a fourth thing about this I want to talk about. And it actually has to do with, the independent craft brewers or even the microbrews. I see a situation like the video game market right now. And let me explain what that is. What a used video game market. Now, on the used video game market, it is totally out of whack right now. If you start looking at prices, especially if you're a gamer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially start going back to like the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis days or far or older, you know the pricing is ridiculously high. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because when the microbrews or the brewery, don't have the distribution, you have two options out of that. One is the trade market. Now, the trade market, I mean, it is what it is. We all do it. I've done it. If you're another reviewer, you've probably done it also. But there's one thing that nobody's talking about, and this is the reason why I bring up used video game market, is the online stores. Now, I'm not going to name names. Now, I've toyed with the idea of buying directly from them, but here's the problem with this. It's going to cause the same effect as video games because, as crazy as it sounds, if me and you, the consumer, knows that's the only place you have access to stuff, if I'm a business owner, I'm raising the price because I know I'm the only option you got, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all. So normally, let's say I'm just using general numbers. Let's say I go on these online stores. Let's say a bottle is $6 plus shipping, as an example. If they know they're the only option, you damn well better believe I'm charging 10 or more. I mean, that's just how business works. Because let's face it, guys, us Americans are greedy. And that is the one thing that really scares me about this whole merger, is that you're gonna have sky high prices, and you're far as just getting it at all. And what's even worse is without the third party distribution through the distributors, if some of these craft brews and microbrews, that's the only card they got, I got news for you folks. They're out of business. Or they're gonna get bought out by a major. And that's not good because us as consumers, we need that. You know that, I know that, we all know that. But you know what? Do I know if this merger is going to go down? I don't have a clue. Here's the reason why. You know, even me doing politics as my main channel, and something like this, I'm not totally sure. I'm really not. Do I want it to happen? Hell no. Now, do I think it will happen? I'm not sure, like I said, because given the political climate right now, especially when it comes to super mergers, it's hard to say. I don't know. Now, will it suck for us, the consumer? Absolutely. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but this is something that I'm not using the camera, I'm not doing reviews, I'm not using a teleprompter I normally do. This is straight from the heart. And this lush is extremely concerned what could happen. But I'm interested. What do you think about this merger? Please tell me in the comments below. This really needs to be discussed. And I'm talking about not from an anger standpoint, because I've seen that all over the place, but an actual adult discussion. So what do you think? Should it happen? Shouldn't it happen? Should it not happen, excuse me? I mean, is there a better way? I mean, please let me know. Well, Lush fans, I know we're going to do commentary, but this actually needs to be discussed. Now, this is Lance the Lush signing off on this commentary, and stay tuned for the next edition.